So as I said earlier, it was a very interesting project. However, I did notice there were times when it was quite a difficult project, not necessarily because what we had to fulfill in the brief was difficult, but because it seemed that it was hard sometimes to get a coherent collaboration with everyone. And I don't know if this was the way the class was designed. A lot of it really rested on our on collaboration that we needed to do. I think that as an elective, it was we all knew in the back of our mind that it was we were being assessed on this, but a lot of the time we really had to rely on our own kind of personal drive to get this done. And I think sometimes it was noticeable that a lot of people, including me, sometimes lost the drive to get this project done, and in that sense, it did. There were times when it felt like it was going downhill, and nobody was really trying to get this project going. I don't know if that was because since the beginning, there were issues with when one country started the project and another country came in later, and then who was really in charge, who was going to take on a directorial role or an editorial role. I think there was confusion in the beginning, and so nobody really stepped up, and I think towards the end there were definite kind of leaders that stepped up, well, not even leaders, but people that really believed in the project, and I think the UK team really took that on board, and because of them I think this project really started to develop. But it was hard because sometimes it did feel that nobody really took responsibility or really believed in this project sometimes, and I think I don't know why that is. I mean, I did always have a sense that there was a feeling that sometimes there were some kind of lack of organisation, not necessarily in the group, but even in this whole project. I felt that sometimes it was a definite experiment. This hadn't been done before, and that there were times when we couldn't refer back to like what should normally be done. We simply we had to rely on our own kind of dedication, and I guess dedication is the best word to describe it. Rely on our own want to make this project happen, and I think sometimes that did falter. I think to make this, ultimately the actual final product that came out of this, I'm very happy with, and I wouldn't really change. As I said earlier, it was a huge collaborative process, and you can tell that ideas were thrown in there and they were developed. I think that for me personally, if I was to take this class again, I really would like to see a larger amount of organisation within the class. I think that sometimes I felt that nobody really knew what was going on, and that when something didn't work, it's simply another thing just got thrown in to replace it. And yeah, I think that definitely there were moments where it was hard to see what a direction that we're going in, and I think that caused both confusion and also doubt sometimes. So for me, I think I think for me, just an overall sense of kind of coherent direction in the classes would help, because we're still students. We rely on kind of external. I mean, I'm not going to say influences, but we rely on the class to push us in a direction. I mean, obviously we create unique things, but the class channels that, and I think sometimes I didn't feel that channeling. But it was ultimately a good experience. I think there were some improvements. I mean, sorry, I would like to see some improvements, I guess. Thank you though.